What if I told you that aging faster than you should isn't inevitable, and that the answer isn't in an expensive clinic, a complicated pharmaceutical protocol, or a celebrity-endorsed supplement that costs $200 a month? Most people don't know this. But modern science has identified the exact biological mechanisms that make us age. And it has also identified specific plants that directly target those mechanisms. Today, I am going to show you 10 plants that work on the real biology of aging. Plants with clinical evidence. Plants you can actually get. Plants that, used consistently over months and years, genuinely change the trajectory of how you age. Hit that subscribe button because every week we bring you evidence-based natural health knowledge that can genuinely change how you age. Let's get into it. Here are 10 plants that will make you rejuvenate, no matter your age. Number 1, turmeric, the inflammation clock stopper. If you are over 40 and you understand one thing about the biology of aging, make it this. Chronic inflammation is the engine that drives virtually every age-related disease and physical decline. Scientists call it inflammaging, the slow, persistent, low-level inflammatory state that accumulates as we get older and silently destroys tissue, disrupts hormones, degrades cognitive function, and accelerates every visible sign of aging, from joint pain to wrinkled skin. Turmeric, curcuma longa, contains curcumin, and curcumin is the most studied natural anti-inflammatory compound in existence. The research is not thin. There are thousands of published studies. Clinical trials have shown curcumin inhibits the master inflammatory switch, a protein called NFKB, that controls inflammatory gene expression throughout your entire body. When you reduce NFKB activity, you reduce inflammation across every organ and tissue simultaneously. Clinical trials show curcumin reduces joint pain in osteoarthritis, comparably to ibuprofen in some studies, without damaging your stomach lining. Research demonstrates reductions in every major inflammatory marker in the blood: CRP, IL-6, TNF-alpha. These are the same markers that predict cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and accelerated biological aging. Lowering them consistently over months and years changes your disease risk profile measurably. The single most important thing to know about using turmeric: you must combine it with black pepper. Piperine in black pepper increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Without it, most curcumin passes through you unused. Traditional cuisines that use turmeric have always combined it with pepper. This was not accidental. It was thousands of years of empirical observation producing the right answer before anyone understood the chemistry. Golden milk daily, turmeric in cooking with black pepper, a standardized curcumin supplement with piperine for therapeutic effect. Start here. Everything else builds on a foundation of reduced inflammation. Think of it as the biological volume dial for aging, and turmeric is the hand that turns it down. Number 2, ashwagandha, the hormone restorer. Here is something nobody tells you about what happens after 40. Your cortisol, the primary stress hormone, doesn't just make you feel stressed. It actively dismantles your body. Chronically elevated cortisol breaks down collagen, accelerating skin aging. It disrupts sleep architecture, preventing the cellular repair that only happens in deep sleep. It suppresses testosterone and DHEA, the hormones whose decline after 40 is most directly responsible for the loss of muscle mass, energy, libido, and mental sharpness that people blame on age itself. Cortisol isn't age. Cortisol is the mechanism through which stress produces aging, and ashwagandha, with Annia somnifera, is the most clinically validated plant for reducing it. Multiple randomized controlled trials have confirmed that ashwagandha supplementation reduces serum cortisol by 20 to 30% compared to placebo. One landmark study showed a 44% reduction in perceived stress scores and a 28% reduction in cortisol in adults who took ashwagandha root extract for 60 days. These are not trivial numbers. A 30% reduction in cortisol produces cascading improvements across sleep quality, body composition, cognitive function, skin health, and immune response, all simultaneously. Research specifically in adults over 40 shows ashwagandha significantly increases testosterone and DHEA levels, restoring hormonal profiles closer to those of younger adults. One study found significant improvements in muscle strength, muscle recovery, and body fat reduction in middle-aged adults taking ashwagandha for 12 weeks, alongside moderate exercise. The root is taken as a powder, capsule, or tincture. Look for products standardized to withanolide content. Take it consistently for at least 8 weeks. The adaptogenic action builds gradually. Think of it as the plant that identified the primary mechanism through which stress ages you and decided to address it directly, 3,000 years before anyone had the tools to confirm why it worked. Number 3. Rosehip, the collagen rebuilder. After 40, collagen production drops by approximately 1% every year. By 50, you have lost 10% or more of the collagen infrastructure that keeps your skin firm, your joints cushioned, your blood vessels flexible, and your gut lining intact. This is not just cosmetic. Collagen is the most abundant structural protein in the human body, and its decline affects how every organ and tissue holds together over time. The single most essential nutrient for collagen synthesis is vitamin C. And rosehip, the fruit of wild rose species, is the most concentrated natural source of vitamin C in the plant kingdom. Weight for weight, rosehips contain up to 40 times more vitamin C than oranges. They also contain vitamin A, vitamin E, and a range of polyphenols that work synergistically with vitamin C to protect existing collagen from oxidative degradation while stimulating the production of new collagen. Clinical trials have confirmed these effects in people. A randomized controlled trial found that daily rosehip powder supplementation significantly reduced the depth of crow's feet wrinkles, improved skin moisture, and improved skin elasticity after 8 weeks of use. Another clinical study found rosehip supplementation significantly reduced joint pain and improved mobility in adults with osteoarthritis, effects driven by the same collagen-supporting and anti-inflammatory mechanisms. Rosehip oil applied topically has documented effects on hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone, and fine lines. It contains trans-retinoic acid naturally, working similarly to retinol, but without the irritation that pharmaceutical retinoids often cause on sensitive, mature skin. Rosehip tea daily. Rosehip powder in smoothies. Rosehip oil applied nightly to the face and neck. 3 simple practices, each addressing the collagen decline of aging from a different angle simultaneously. Think of it as the plant that carries the building blocks of your structure. offering them back to you in the most bioavailable, most complete form available outside of a laboratory. Number 4. Green tea, the cellular longevity drink. The people of Japan and the island of Okinawa are among the most studied human populations in the world for longevity and healthy aging. They produce more healthy centenarians per capita than almost anywhere on Earth. Researchers have spent decades identifying what they do differently, and green tea, consumed daily in quantity for a lifetime, appears consistently as one of the most significant factors. Camellia sinensis, green tea, contains EGCG, epigallocatechin galate, which is one of the most potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds ever identified in food. EGCG works through multiple anti-aging mechanisms simultaneously. It activates autophagy, the cellular housekeeping process by which damaged, dysfunctional cellular components are identified and recycled. Autophagy declines with age, and its decline allows the accumulation of cellular debris that contributes to cognitive decline, cancer risk, and tissue dysfunction. Stimulating it is one of the most important anti-aging interventions available. EGCG also protects telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes that shorten with every cell division and with every stress event. Telomere length is one of the most direct biological measurements of cellular age. Research shows that regular green tea drinkers have measurably longer telomeres than non-drinkers of the same chronological age. They are, biologically, younger. Clinical research links regular green tea consumption with reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and neurodegenerative conditions, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Studies confirm improvements in LDL cholesterol, blood pressure, and insulin sensitivity in adults who drink green tea consistently. 2 to 3 cups of high-quality green tea daily, brewed below boiling temperature to preserve the catechin content. Matcha, powdered whole green tea leaf, provides significantly higher EGCG concentrations if you want maximum effect. Think of it as the daily habit that Okinawa's centenarians built their extraordinary longevity on, available to you in any tea aisle for less than most supplements cost per week. Number 5, Gotu Kola, the skin and brain rebuilder. Gotu Kola, Centella asiatica, was called the herb of longevity in traditional Sinhalese medicine, and it was used specifically for 2 things that become more precious with every passing decade: youthful, elastic skin and a sharp, clear mind. Modern research has given us the precise mechanisms for both, and they are exactly what you would want a plant to do. For skin, Gotu Kola is the most clinically validated natural collagen-stimulating herb available. The triterpenoid compounds in the plant, Asiaticoside, Madecassoside, and Asiatic acid, directly stimulate fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing collagen in your skin. Clinical trials show Gotu Kola extract, taken internally or applied topically, measurably increases collagen synthesis, improves skin elasticity, and reduces the visible depth of fine lines and wrinkles. For people over 40, dealing with the loss of skin firmness and the deepening of expression lines, the evidence for Gotu Kola is among the most compelling in the botanical world. For the brain, the effects are equally significant. Research shows Gotu Kola promotes the growth of dendrites, the branching extensions of nerve cells that are essential for learning, memory, and the speed of cognitive processing. Dendritic growth is the physical basis of neuroplasticity. Studies in adults over 45 have found improvements in memory, attention, and cognitive processing speed after consistent go-to cola supplementation. Animal research suggests protective effects against the accumulation of amyloid beta, the protein associated with Alzheimer's pathology. Go-to cola as a tea, a tincture, or a standardized extract for internal use. Go-to cola, cream, or serum for direct topical collagen stimulation. Used both ways simultaneously, it works on your skin from the outside and from the inside at the same time, which is exactly how the most effective anti-aging interventions work. Think of it as the herb that chose the two most visible casualties of aging, your skin and your mind, and decided to rebuild both at once. Number 6. Astragalus, the telomere medicine. And this is the one I teased at the beginning. Astragalus, Astragalus membranaceus, occupies a category entirely its own in the anti-aging botanical world because it is the only plant ever shown in human research to have a direct, measurable effect on telomeres. And telomere length is not a trivial marker. It is the biological clock, the most direct measurement of how fast your cells are aging. Every time a cell divides, its telomeres shorten slightly. Every significant stress event shortens them further. Shorter telomeres mean older cells, reduced cellular function, and higher risk of every age-related disease. Telomere shortening was considered irreversible, an inevitable biological countdown, until researchers began studying a compound found in Astragalus root called cycloastragenol. Cycloastragenol has been shown to activate telomerase, the enzyme responsible for rebuilding and lengthening telomeres. This is a genuinely extraordinary finding. Activating telomerase means reversing, at least partially, one of the fundamental mechanisms of cellular aging. Clinical trials using cycloastragenol in adults over 45 have shown measurable improvements in immune function and biomarkers of cellular aging. Human studies link higher astragalus consumption with longer average telomere length for chronological age. Beyond its telomere effects, Astragalus has documented immune-enhancing properties that directly counteract immunosenescence, the immune system decline that accelerates after 50 and is responsible for the increased susceptibility to illness, the slower recovery from infection, and the reduced effectiveness of vaccines that older adults experience. Research confirms Astragalus stimulates the production and activity of key immune cells. It has cardiovascular protective effects confirmed in clinical studies, and it has been used in Chinese medicine for centuries, specifically for the kind of deep, constitutional vitality that keeps people functionally young well into old age. The root is taken as a tea, simmered in soups and broths as traditional Chinese medicine prescribes, or as a standardized extract for higher therapeutic concentration. Think of it as the plant that found the biological clock and figured out how to turn back the hands. Number 7. Lion's mane mushroom, the brain's fertilizer. After 50, most people notice something they don't like and don't talk about. Their mind is not quite as sharp as it used to be. Words that used to come instantly take a moment. Learning something new requires more repetition. The mental agility that felt effortless at 30 feels like it requires more effort at 55. This is not imagination, it is biology. Specifically, the decline of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, and nerve growth factor, both of which are proteins essential for maintaining and growing neural connections. Lion's mane, Hericium erinaceus, is the only plant or mushroom ever shown to stimulate the production of both of these proteins in the human brain. This is what makes it categorically different from every other cognitive support herb. It doesn't just protect existing neural tissue, it actively promotes the growth of new neural connections, the physical process of neuroplasticity that underlies learning, memory, and mental agility. A landmark clinical trial in Japan gave lion's mane supplements to adults aged 50 to 80 with mild cognitive impairment for 16 weeks. The group taking lion's mane showed significant improvements in cognitive function scores across multiple measures. When supplementation stopped, the improvements gradually declined, confirming the effect was real, ongoing, and dependent on continued use. Multiple subsequent studies have confirmed these findings. Research also shows lion's mane reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety in adults, which matters for aging because chronic low mood is both a symptom and an accelerant of brain aging, working through the same neurochemical pathways that drive cognitive decline. Dried lion's mane can be cooked and eaten. It has a seafood-like texture and mild flavor. Lion's mane extract powder or capsules provide concentrated active compounds for therapeutic effect. For anyone over 50 who notices any change in mental sharpness, lion's mane is the most evidence-backed botanical intervention available. Think of it as the fertilizer for the garden of your mind, feeding the growth of new connections in a brain that was told it couldn't grow anymore. Number 8. Elderberry. The immune age reverser. After 50, your immune system begins a decline that scientists call immunosenescence. Immune response to infections becomes slower. Recovery from illness takes longer. The body's surveillance against abnormal cells becomes less reliable. Vaccines become less effective. And the chronic, low-grade inflammation that an aging, dysregulated immune system produces accelerates virtually every other aspect of biological aging. Elderberry, Sambucus nigra, is the most clinically studied plant for immune function in adults, and its effects on the specific components of immune function that decline with age are directly relevant to everyone in their 5th, 6th, and 7th decades. Multiple randomized controlled trials confirm elderberry extract significantly reduces the duration and severity of influenza infections. A meta-analysis found an average reduction of 4 days in flu duration compared to placebo. Research shows elderberry activates the production of cytokines, the immune signaling molecules that coordinate rapid, effective immune response. The dark purple berries are extraordinarily rich in anthocyanins, with direct antioxidant and immune modulating effects, along with vitamin C, quercetin, and flavonoids that work synergistically. For people over 50, the goal of elderberry is not just faster recovery from colds. It is maintaining the immune surveillance and immune regulation that prevents the chronic inflammatory state that ages you. A well-regulated immune system produces less of the background inflammation that drives heart disease, cognitive decline, and cancer risk. Elderberry supports that regulation in ways that isolated vitamin supplements simply do not. Make elderberry syrup at home from dried berries. It is simple, inexpensive, and more potent than most commercial preparations. Take it through autumn and winter when immune challenges are greatest. Think of it as the system upgrade your immune system needs after 50, keeping the defense that protects everything else sharp, responsive, and regulated. Number 9, Moringa, the nutrient gap filler. Here is a truth about aging after 40 that the supplement industry profits from, but rarely explains clearly. Nutritional deficiency is one of the most significant and most underappreciated drivers of accelerated aging in middle-aged and older adults. As metabolism changes, as digestive efficiency decreases, and as dietary variety often narrows with age, the micronutrient deficiencies that accumulate do serious biological damage. Magnesium deficiency, found in up to 50% of adults over 50, disrupts sleep quality, increases cardiovascular risk, and impairs over 300 enzymatic processes throughout the body. Iron deficiency produces the cognitive fog and physical fatigue that people routinely attribute to aging itself. Vitamin A deficiency accelerates skin aging and impairs immune surveillance. Zinc deficiency undermines wound healing, immune function, and testosterone production. B vitamin insufficiencies drive neurological decline and increase cardiovascular disease risk. Moringa, Moringa oleifera, addresses all of these deficiencies simultaneously in a single plant. The dried leaves contain iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, vitamins A, C, and E, and all 9 essential amino acids in a complete protein profile. The nutrient concentration per gram of dried moringa leaf outperforms virtually every individual supplement on the market, and it delivers these nutrients in the whole food matrix that the body recognizes and absorbs most efficiently. Clinical studies confirm moringa's anti-inflammatory effects. Research shows moringa leaf powder reduces blood sugar levels and improves insulin sensitivity, addressing the metabolic dysfunction that becomes increasingly common after 50. Studies confirm reductions in blood pressure and improvements in lipid profiles. Animal research shows moringa activates antioxidant enzymes and reduces markers of cellular aging. A teaspoon of moringa powder daily in a smoothie, soup, or juice provides a concentrated hit of the micronutrients that middle-aged and older bodies most commonly lack. Think of it as the nutritional insurance policy that fills every gap your changing metabolism opens up. The complete supplement that grows on a tree. Number 10, olive leaf, the longevity secret in plain sight. And here we are at number 10, the one I saved for last, the plant that is so ordinary, so overlooked, and so completely hiding in plain sight that when you hear what the research shows about the people who use it daily and how they age, you will wonder why nobody told you sooner. The populations of the Mediterranean, Icaria in Greece, Sardinia in Italy, certain regions of Spain, are among the most intensively studied human populations in the world for longevity. They produce more healthy people over 90 and 100 than almost anywhere else on Earth. Researchers have cataloged their diets, their habits, their social structures, their stress levels. And one botanical factor that appears consistently beyond olive oil itself is the use of olive leaves. Brewed as tea, used in cooking, consumed as part of daily life for generations. Olive leaf, Olea europaea, contains oleuropein, one of the most potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds in the Mediterranean plant world. And the research on oleuropein is extraordinary in its breadth. A head-to-head clinical trial compared olive leaf extract directly with captopril, a pharmaceutical drug used to treat high blood pressure, and found olive leaf extract performed comparably for blood pressure reduction without the side effects. Research confirms significant reductions in LDL cholesterol and improvements in arterial function. Studies demonstrate anti-inflammatory effects throughout the cardiovascular system. Research shows olive leaf extract improves insulin sensitivity and blood sugar regulation. But the most remarkable findings concern what oleuropein does at the cellular level. Research shows it activates sirtuins, the longevity proteins that regulate cellular survival, DNA repair, and metabolic efficiency. These are the same proteins activated by caloric restriction and vigorous exercise. The two interventions with the strongest longevity evidence in existence. Oleuropein activates them through a cup of tea. Studies show it reduces the rate of telomere shortening. It activates autophagy. In animal studies, olive leaf extract has consistently extended healthy lifespan. Dried olive leaves brewed as a tea for 10 to 15 minutes produce a mildly bitter, earthy drink that delivers oleuropein and every compound that has sustained Mediterranean longevity for centuries. Standardized olive leaf extract capsules provide higher, more consistent therapeutic concentrations. The leaves are available from specialty herb suppliers and increasingly from olive oil producers who dry the leaves as a secondary product. Here is what makes olive leaf the perfect ending to this list. It is not exotic. It is not expensive. It does not require a prescription, a specialist, or a health food store markup. It grows on one of the most ancient and most common trees in the world, a tree that has been feeding, healing, and sustaining human civilizations for 5,000 years. The longest-lived people on Earth have been drinking it quietly for generations, not because they read the research, because they paid attention to what kept them alive. That is the whole lesson of this list. The plants that rejuvenate are not hidden. They are not rare. They are not locked behind expensive protocols or complicated programs. They are in your kitchen, in your garden, in your local health store, in the fields and forests of the oldest living traditions on Earth. They have been there the whole time. You just needed to know where to look. Think of it as the leaf that the world's longest-lived people brew into their morning cup, still carrying the same medicine it has always carried, still offering the same longevity it has always offered, still waiting for you to simply pick it up and drink. If you made it to the end of this video, you now have something genuinely valuable. 10 plants, each one targeting a specific, real, measurable mechanism of biological aging. Inflammation, hormonal decline, collagen loss, telomere shortening, cellular cleanup, immune aging, nutritional depletion, cognitive decline, cardiovascular aging, longevity activation. These are not promises. They are not marketing claims. They are the findings of peer-reviewed research conducted by scientists who dedicated their careers to understanding why we age and what we can actually do about it. You are 40 or 50 or 60, and that is not a sentence. The science of aging has changed dramatically, and what we now know is that biological age is far more malleable than chronological age. These 10 plants are your tools for that malleability, so smash that like button if this video gave you something actionable. Drop a comment and tell me which plant you are starting with first. Are you team inflammation fighters? Turmeric and olive leaf. Team hormones and energy, ashwagandha and rhodiola, or team brain and longevity, lion's mane and astragalus? I read every comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Every week, we bring you the evidence-based natural health knowledge that can genuinely change the trajectory of how you age. I would love to have you with us. The years ahead are not fixed. They are grown. I'll see you in the next one.